Hey, middle school volunteers. Oh, man, I am so excited. Taco Bell Olympics was awesome. Sure, we had fun. I finally cleaned up the whole gym. It was a good time. But here's the really cool thing. We had 8 first-time guests come to the Taco Bell Olympics last night. And that's so exciting because that shows that these invite nights, they work. We get students for the first time. And so we actually got great information on them. We've put them into our guest follow-up process, and we're going to be texting them, emailing them, parents as well. We're going to be trying to set up a coffee with me and their parents or Siri, and I'm so excited for it. I hope that you had the chance to meet some of those new students and invite them back to this coming Sunday, because this coming Sunday we are continuing through Alpha. I know that it has been like a solid month off from Alpha, but this week we're going to be getting into the question of why did Jesus have to die? Where last time we talked about Jesus, kind of who is he, the historical figure of Jesus the Christ. And this week we're going to be kind of diving into this idea of Jesus as the Messiah. Now, this is so interesting because we're talking about this with middle schoolers who are right on the edge of moving from concrete to abstract thinkers. And we're going to be getting into this very abstract idea of God's justice and God's mercy, and how he is infinitely just and infinitely merciful. This is a hard idea for a fully developed brain to comprehend, let alone a half-cooked one like what our middle schoolers are working with. So, at the beginning of the Alpha video, they talk a lot about this illustration of a judge who sentences his best friend to pay this certain fine, and then as soon as he gets done sentencing, he walks down and he pays the fine for his friend. What I would encourage you to do is really run with this illustration. This illustration is tactile enough to demonstrate both things, but still get the idea across, especially to our middle school students. I really encourage you, keep that illustration in the back of your mind so that you can keep bringing it up. Now, as for this weekend, what it's going to look like. I've got a couple of announcements. I'm going to have some students run that. I am currently still working on the game. I'm looking through a bunch of download youth ministry games, and we'll do a screen game. I'll try to get a bit of a longer version of a screen game, so that way we can take up a little bit more time. And what I would really appreciate, as we go into March, we're going to have 4 straight weekends of no interruptions. Bless. Throughout this month, if you could kind of keep your finger on the pulse and let me know, how is Alpha really going for our middle schoolers? Because as we're going through it with a group of high school students on Tuesday nights at my house, I am really loving Alpha for high school students. And the more that I watch it, the more that I keep up with it, the more that I'm thinking, this is awesome for high schoolers. And I think that it might just be a phase ahead of where our middle school students, where any middle school student is developmentally. So that's not to say that Alpha is a bad thing. I think that it may just be a little bit too advanced. It might just be a little bit too abstract, if we're being honest. But you're the one in the trenches. You're the one leading a discussion group at your table. So let me know throughout this month what you're thinking. If we need to change things up, if we need to have guest speakers come in and work with middle school students on their level, I would be one of those guest speakers, of course, just to be developmentally appropriate. So if you could let me know, that would be wonderful. I will let you know what the game looks like. And we will run Sunday night as we have ran Sunday nights, in January. Not February. So we'll start at 6:35. We'll do announcements. We'll do a game. We'll do Alpha, and then we'll call it a night. It'll be awesome. The small group leader guide is attached in the chat below. So I am praying for you guys. I think that this discussion can be really awesome. I think that it can be tricky, but I think that it can lead to something really, really cool with your students. And lastly, guys, I just want to say how thankful I am to know you and serve with you. Thinking about last night, if I were to walk into a room full of adults and just ask for a show of hands and ask who would be willing to go into the gym right now and watch students throw burritos at each other and chug sodas, and who would be willing to, scarf down tacos with students, very few people would raise their hands. But yet you do. And it's not necessarily for the enjoyment of scarfing down a taco for time, but it's because you realize and you know that this sort of stuff creates stronger relationships, which creates better, deeper conversations, which leads a kid eventually, hopefully, to life in Christ. And guys, you are putting in so much time. You are sowing seeds, and many of us probably won't see these students get baptized. Many of us may not really ever know if a student gets saved, but yet you're putting in that time. You're putting in that effort and the prayers in that, and it is incredible just to be able to be a part of it. Guys, I am so lucky and honored and blessed to be able to see you do what you do. Thank you. Thank you for who you are, for the work that you're putting in, for the time that you're investing in these kids. You make me want to be like you when I grow up. So, all of that to say, I think you're incredible. I really do. I'm so glad to be able to serve with you, and I cannot wait to serve with you again this Sunday night.